Pakistan, Musharraf, and the war on terrorism. Why did President Musharraf declare emergency rule?
President Musharraf declared an emergency in Pakistan on Saturday, it appears because he feared a potential Supreme Court ruling against the legitimacy of the October 6th presidential election last month, in which he won. He feared that such a ruling would undermine his credibility in Pakistan and increase calls for him to step down from power altogether. His claims that he had to take this step in order to continue the fight against religious militancy in the country, that this would somehow help this fight, are just not credible. Senior Bush administration officials who were briefed by President Musharraf on this issue of the judiciary and its interference in the fight against extremists still advised him not to take this drastic step. So I think this calls into question his claims on this front.
How will this impact Pakistan's ability to fight extremists?
Well, imposing an emergency is actually likely to make it more difficult for President Musharraf to confront the extremists. The Pakistan military is engaged in open battle with al-Qaeda and Taliban extremists on the tribal areas and other areas of Pakistan. So right now, even though it's the police forces that are focused on subduing the civil agitation, 1,500 human rights, political, civilian activists have been put in jail. So even though right now it's the police forces that are dealing with this, if things get out of hand, the Pakistan army might have to be called in. So certainly this is leading to a distraction away from the fight against extremism. Number two, President Musharraf is actually alienating the very elements who would support him against this extremist threat. These are civilian politicians like former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, human rights activists. These are people who would support him in this effort. So he's in effect opening up a second front that is likely to lead to more political instability in Pakistan.
How should America deal with the situation?
The U.S. really finds itself in a dilemma. On the one hand, the U.S. must support the Pakistan security forces, which are openly battling al-Qaeda Taliban elements in the tribal areas bordering Afghanistan. This is in the U.S. national security interest in order to prevent future acts of terrorism and to stabilize Afghanistan. On the other hand, the Pakistani population is growing increasingly resentful of the U.S. policy toward Pakistan, which it perceives as Musharraf-centric and not taking into account the broader interests of the population, which includes restoring the country to civilian democratic rule. So the U.S. has to leverage its influence with Pakistani leaders to convince President Musharraf to reverse course. It is critical that the U.S. and Pakistan work together. Pakistan, a Muslim country with a population of 165 million and possessing a nuclear weapons capability, is critical to U.S. national security interests.
President Musharraf dismissed the Supreme Court and ordered the jailing of 1,500 civilians. America must work with Pakistan to reverse its political course while fighting extremist elements.
For more information, log on to heritage.org.